think it's working. So my name is Lacey Binniger. I'm the Director of Student Services for the College of Business. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We have a great group here. This is the first time that we've done freshman advising group sessions virtually. We used to do them in person, and of course with COVID and just kind of, I know we're back in person, but we thought this would still be maybe a better format for this. So we really appreciate you all joining us. And kind of the order of today's events, we're going to have an opening from our interim dean, and then we will give you a bunch of information about registering for courses. A lot of information. Now that this is your first time really doing it on your own, we want to make sure you're prepared to do that. After today's session, later this afternoon, we will be sending out an email with a link to the video in case you want to rewatch it, or if you forget something and want to go back and kind of find it, you can do so. We will also send out a link to the freshman advising quiz. It's super short. It's just to kind of identify areas that are very important and make sure that you understand them. There's no consequences if you get a question wrong, so don't worry about anything like that. Again, it's just for us to kind of assess and make sure that we got this information to you effectively. The other thing you will be getting today is an email from your advisor to schedule your individual advising appointment. That will be a 30-minute appointment where you get to talk individually with your advisor and talk more specifically about your classes for the spring. This is the only time, at least unless we decide to do something new in the future, this is really the only time we'll do a group advising session like this. Typically it's individual, but because we have so much information that all of you need to know, this is a good format just to get that information to you. So it's kind of an order of activities today and through freshman advising. So to get us kicked off, I'm going to welcome Interim Dean Dr. Jeff Archambault to welcome you.
Thank you, Lacey. Good morning, welcome. I'm very excited about this freshman class. We have a lot of talented people coming into the school this year, and I think it's going to be a great class as we go forward, and I'm really excited. That brings me to a point, actually, I thought of something I wanted to add from yesterday. Go to our website on the college and apply for scholarships. I always say we have a lot of good scholarships. Every time I get done getting them all awarded out, some of which are department specific, some are college wide. I always wish we had more, and I just learned a new one came in. I just had a call, like at 10:51 or 2 or something like that, about a new scholarship coming in yet again. And so it's well worth your time. And also while you're at it, please file a FAFSA for next year. A lot of our scholarships are need-based, and you need to be on the need list to get that. And so put your name out there, and good luck on that. And like I say, every year there's a few people I wish I could get scholarships to that we don't have them for, but in general we have a really good package, and I'm really proud of our scholarships. Very thankful for our donors, and very proud of our students that get those. We have a lot of very deserving ones. I just want to take a minute and encourage you to work closely with your advisor through all of your years here. They are great people. I do really enjoy visiting that office all the time. I am always amazed how well they know the students. I'm almost every time I walk in asking about a student, they'll say, hey, what about this person? And their advisor will just start in knowing right where they're at in their program and everything. They really get to know you very well, and that is extremely valuable as you try to navigate your way through our program. And I just want to take a minute and highlight some of the opportunities we have in our programs. And we have cut down to 24-hour majors and everything, so we got one at 25, and I think technically marketing's still at 27 and waiting for the core curriculum to change, and accounting's at 30, but they're all 24 or smaller than they used to be, and that's just built for efficiency and allowing you to do things like do double majors. A few students do triple majors. Have we ever had a quad major? I don't know if we ever pulled one of those yet. We get a few triples.
No, I feel like we might have had one.
Might have had one. I'm trying to remember.
I could be wrong though.
But you can do that, and I've seen people get out of here with double majors very, very close to 120 hours. Some of our majors have areas of emphasis that are very exciting. We have lots of minors, and quite frankly, I mean, I love it when a student does a double major or a minor in the College of Business, but there are many other majors and minors throughout the whole university that you can combine with and put together very, very good, individually tailored education packages. That's what we're really trying to do, is give you the flexibility to get the education that you want. We have graduate programs, our MBA, several MS programs. Most of those are hooked up, many of those in 3+2 options, where you can start working towards your graduate degree your senior year and take up to 3 courses towards that. That all varies person to person. I mean, I was actually I wrote the plan of study for the MS and accountancy program and directed that program for many, many years, and would work with students, and you're all in very individual situations coming through, but whether you can straight double count them and get something to count as an elective, or just get a jump and take 1 or 2 classes that you quote unquote didn't really need for the undergrad, but you can take them and get out of your grad degree faster. It helps a lot of students just do things much, much better. So that's something to start thinking about. You're quite a ways away from that, but it's a good time to start thinking. We have numerous student organizations, somewhere in the double digits, low double digits. They are fantastic. We met with the leaders of several of those just yesterday, and there's great organizations. They're involved in the professions. They bring professionals to speak. They let you meet other students, and I think that's really important as a freshman, to get to know some upperclassmen if you can a little bit, and see where they're at and where they're going. They have some great service opportunities. You can get involved in community service projects and really make a contribution to our community that way while you're developing professional skills. They're fantastic organizations. I always say the best job I've ever had on this campus was faculty advisor for Beta Alpha Psi. That was just it is that deep of an organization, just to work with the students and watch them develop professionally and just come out so much more confident a year or two after, especially the leader stepping into those roles. It's an amazing transformation in people. And then we also have speaker series where we bring in executives at various levels to talk about issues in their business and whatnot that are very, very educational and informative. Lots of opportunities to get involved. We have a great internship program too. I don't think I mentioned that yesterday. I'm going to write that down for the future. So many things, you got to make lists sometimes just to literally keep them all in your head. But the time to start thinking about these things is now, and my best advice is work closely with your advisor, work closely with your faculty, especially in your major or minor areas, and pick their brains. Really everybody I know here is just, we are a very student focused school, and I think I speak for everybody when I say we all just really enjoy talking to students about what their plans for the future. I don't know of anybody that doesn't anyway. but it's just a great group here. But I am very serious. If you haven't gotten to know our advisors very well, they are just super people, and they will really work with you and things. So I just really encourage you today, and thank you for coming out for this already. And wish you luck. If you ever have any questions or complaints or anything else, please feel free to drop me a note. And I will tell you, a lot of the first developments I hear on this campus come from the advisors. So if you do have an issue, bring it to your advisor too. They will work very hard at helping you through that and connect you to anybody you need. But anyway, thank you, welcome, good luck. And like I say, if you need me for anything, just feel free to drop me a note. And I'll turn it back to Lacey now.
Thank you, Dr. Archambault. We're really glad to have you here to welcome everybody. He is super great, one of the best bosses I've ever had, and I do encourage you, if you need anything, don't be scared to come see us. Come see Dr. Archambault. I know it can be a little intimidating, but I promise we're all pretty nice people.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. So now I would like to give Sabrina and Megan the opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into the information extravaganza.
Hey guys, I am Sabrina Williamson, and I'm so glad that you guys joined us today. I actually do advising for last names A through K. Hey, I got it. I got it right. A through K. So if your last name is A through K, I'm your advisor. I know that I've talked to some of you. But if you need anything, feel free to stop by, call, or email me. We're in the office Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and we do like to take lunch around noon because. But if you need anything, let me know, please. Thanks.
Hey y'all, I'm Megan Russell. I am the advisor for students L through Z. I am the newest addition to the College of Business Advising Center, and I am so happy to get to finally put some faces to some names. But if you need anything at all, please feel free to stop by and see us. I know we've been doing a lot of things virtually, which is cool and super convenient. But if you're in Corbly, feel free to stop by and just visit us. We're in 334, so hopefully I'll get to see a lot of you soon.
And we always have candy out, so if nothing else, swing by and grab a piece of candy. All right, so I will forewarn you, I get talking very fast. So if you do have questions or, miss something and want me to go over it again, please don't hesitate to raise your hand or throw it in the chat. Megan and Sabrina will be watching the chat. So please, stop us if we need to. And I'm just going to jump right in. So I'm going to share my screen. The first thing we're going to talk about is DegreeWorks. Now, I know that most of you have been through Uni 100, so you've probably heard some of this stuff, and that's fantastic. This is a good time to review it because now it's something that you're really going to be looking at to help pick out classes. So we just want to make sure everybody's very familiar with this. Can you all see my screen? It's the Marshall homepage right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool, thank you. I only can see one person, so. Okay, so now it's actually DegreeWorks. And this is a test account. This is not a real person. I'm not sharing anybody's private information. This is John Marshall III. This is our test account. And he is declared as a computer science major, but because we want to look at a business student, we're going to do a what if and pull up the business curriculum. This is a great tool to use if you're thinking about changing majors or if you'd like to add a major or add a minor or anything like that. You can use this what if tool. It's over here on the left. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's over here on the left. And we're just going to click that and then plug in the current catalog year. Now, catalog year is something that you'll hear us throw around, and that essentially is the year that you entered your major. And that is the curriculum that you are bound to for 10 years. So technically you would have 10 years to finish under your current set of requirements. Of course, we hope most of you finish before that, but that is technically the policy. So if you hear us say catalog year, that's what we mean. It's simply the year that you entered your major, and hence that is the curriculum that you are bound to. And this is for your protection, because then if like they add courses or something like that, we're not going to just randomly add classes to you because you're set with this curriculum. And then we're going to look at a management major. If you do a what if for business, please make sure that you pick the major and then BBA, because our degrees are Bachelors of Business Administration. If you are a general business student joining us, your degree would be a Bachelor of Arts. That's our online program. But for our on-campus programs, they are all BBAs. So we're going to click management, and then we're going to go ahead and add a minor just so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to add a finance minor for John Marshall the third. All right, so we're going to do a hit process. And then it brings up the curriculums for those specific programs. Something nice about DegreeWorks is over here on the right, you can see your holds. Typically, you also would have your advisor listed right here. John Marshall doesn't have an advisor at the moment, but normally your advisor would be here. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. I'm going to, again, very quickly go through this, so please stop me if you have any questions. I'm going to kind of explain each block to you, and then, how specifically business students fulfill these requirements. So every student at Marshall, regardless of their major, has to complete the core curriculum. The core curriculum, essentially, like you might hear some people refer to it as Gen Ed's, general education requirements. That's what the core curriculum is. So you have Core 1, which is first year seminar, and 2 critical thinking courses. And then you have Core 2, which is where your English, communications, fine arts, humanities, all of those courses fall under. We specifically in business require 207. Maybe you took 103 in high school, and we can use that as well, but we do prefer 207 if you're registering for it. So that's the core curriculum. Now, the nice thing about the critical thinking classes is that we build those in for you as long as you take the 2 courses here at Marshall. So Psychology 201 and Accounting 215 are both critical thinking courses. So these 2 critical thinking courses we build in for you. Again, those do have to be taken at Marshall. So if you did transfer one of those courses in, or maybe you got AP credit for psychology, it still meets that course requirement, but we would need to find another way to satisfy the critical thinking. And there's some ways we can do that still overlap with other requirements, like maybe finding a humanities that's also critical thinking. So that's something you can talk to your advisor about. So if you scroll down here, there's a box called additional university requirements. Again, every student at Marshall has to do these. You can see here there's an international or multicultural requirement. Business students automatically fulfill that when they take the international business elective. The writing intensive requirement, you have to have 6 hours of writing intensive courses. Again, we build this in for you with English 204, which is writing for the workplace, and strategic management, management 460. Every business student has to take those 2 courses, so that's built in for you. Just like critical thinking, though, writing intensive does have to be taken at Marshall. So if for some reason you took, if you've transferred those in or something, again, we can talk to you about your options to fulfill the writing intensive requirement. And then every major has a capstone, so that's automatically built in for you too. So this whole block for most, 98% of students will all be built in for you. Okay, and then we're getting into the business specific requirements. So these first 2 blocks, the additional business requirements and the core business courses, are requirements that every business student has to do. And there you can see, like, there's the psychology that again we require, but it's also critical thinking. The math is listed here, foundations of statistics, that will also fulfill your core 2 math. We do accept some other math courses for that. So if you've taken something previously, that could be a different course listed. And again, that's something we can talk to you about on an individual basis. And then you have your accounting, your econ, your business law, those type of courses. And then you get down into your major. So this is where things will start to look different based on your major. Of course, a management major is going to have mostly management classes there. A finance major would have mostly finance classes. So those are the classes specific to your major. And then if you do have a minor declared, you scroll down to the bottom and that's where it will list your minor. So for example, we plugged in a finance minor for John Marshall. This is where the requirements for that are listed. 2 other things that I want to mention curriculum wise is that there is an option for students to do 18 hours of coursework as credit, no credit. This is not, I'm going to be honest, it's not very common for students to do this, but it technically is an option for Gen Ed courses, for those core curriculum courses. Outside of, I believe, English, I think English has to be graded. You cannot do business courses as credit, no credit. So it's a very small group of courses that you would even be able to do this for. Basically, credit, no credit. If you get an A, B, or C, you get credit. If you get a D or F, you get no credit. So the risk is that a D is typically passing for a class, but if you do credit, no credit, that would be no credit, and then you wouldn't get credit for the course. So it's not typically a great option, but it is something that is available. If you would like to talk more about that, please see your advisor and we can discuss whether that's a good option for what you're considering. Okay. Whew, it's a lot. So that's kind of part one. Does anybody have any questions about the things that I just went over? All right, if you do think of anything, again, please throw it in the chat box or raise your hand, and we'll be happy to address those for you. So now we are moving on. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. One thing I did just forget to mention, the minimum required hours to graduate at Marshall with a bachelor's degree is 120 credit hours. So you will hear this kind of, I guess it's kind of a slogan, 15 to finish. Basically what that means, if you take 120 hours and divide it amongst 8 semesters, so 4 school years, that's 15 hours a semester. So that is what we typically encourage students to aim for, is 15 hours a semester to stay on track for 4-year graduation. Now, we do recognize that that might not be an appropriate course load for every student. Maybe you work full time, you have other responsibilities that you need to do, and maybe that's just not feasible for you. And that's completely fine. Talk to your advisor about that, and we can help you come up with a plan that works for you. But in general, to stay on track for 4-year graduation, 15 hours a semester is the goal. So I'm going to flip back to the home page, and I want to take and show you the advising website. Now, there's actually 2 different things I'm going to show you. One is the College of Business website. And from the Marshall homepage, if you just type COB for College of Business into the search bar, we should be the first link. Click there. And then under students, you can click Academic Advising Center. And that is where all of our contact information is listed. I failed to introduce Laura earlier. You probably get phone calls from Laura on occasion. She does a lot of stuff in our office. If we need to reach out to you, she might be calling you. And she's also the person that typically greets students when they walk in the door. So you'll get to know Laura as well. But this is all of our contact information. So that's one important thing I wanted to show you. And then we're going to go back to the homepage. And then in that search bar, we're just going to type advising. And this is the university advising website. Again, it should be the first link when you search. And it brings you to a page that just has tons of information for students. A couple things that I want to point out specifically to you today. You can find the academic calendar on here, which is great. If you want to know when Christmas break starts or when spring break is or something like that, you can click on the academic calendar. You also can find a final exam schedule here, so that's really great. The 2 things I really want to focus on today is I want to show you academic maps. And you click down and click the current catalog year, 2020, 21, 2021, 22. And then there is an academic map for every major. So again, John Marshall's a management major, so let's just click management and pull that up. And this gives you your curriculum in 2 different formats. One format is a list, kind of like DegreeWorks would be, with some additional information here, like what counts for specific requirements. And then on the right side is a 4-year plan format. And this is a general guide in how to complete your classes and how to do it in 4 years and in what order. Now, a student brought up yesterday, asked if they had to do this in this exact order, and that's a fantastic question. The answer to that is no. I don't know that I've actually ever seen a student complete their degree in exactly this order. But this is a general guide, and we do try to follow it, as closely as we can, but we'll tailor our plans based on your individual circumstances. And that it's important to continue meeting with your advisor every semester, because there are things on here that are prerequisites for another course, which I'll talk about that in a moment, or maybe once a year classes for your major. So, it's important to still be meeting with your advisor every semester, because we can help you stay on track for those things. So I did want to show you this as one thing that I wanted to show you from the advising website, and then we're going to go back. And the other thing I want to show you is the academic policies and procedures. So much information here, including inclement weather. So like if we get an ice storm, what are the policies? You can click that, how to get an excused absence. So many good links here. The two that I want to focus on today is the academic probation and suspension policy and the DF repeat policy. So GPA does matter in regards to your academic standing. If your GPA, your overall or Marshall GPA, drops below a 2.0, you are placed on academic probation. Now, here at Marshall, you have 4 types of GPAs. You have an overall GPA, which is every class you've ever taken for college credit, whether it be here, another school, any college course you've ever taken. You have a Marshall GPA, which is all of the classes that you've taken at Marshall. You also have a semester or a term GPA. Some people call it term GPA, some call it semester GPA. They're the same thing. That is your average for one semester. So if you're in 5 classes right now, the average for those 5 classes would be your semester GPA. And then we also have a major GPA. So those courses in your major, we calculate an average for those and calculate a major GPA. It is a graduation requirement that your major, overall, and Marshall GPA be above a 2.0 in order to graduate, or be a 2.0 or above. If your overall or Marshall GPA drops below a 2.0, you're placed on academic probation. This is a period of restricted enrollment, and it's not meant to be a punishment. It's meant to be more of a, how can we help you get back on track for graduation type of thing. During this time, you will have a hold on your account and you would have to meet with me to get registered and to make schedule adjustments. We would create an academic improvement plan. You potentially could be limited on the number of hours that you can take. So, you know, again, it's not a punishment, but it's, you know, not something we want to strive for by any means. We really want to keep that GPA above a 2.0. And if you do end up on probation, then my goal is to help you figure out the best and most effective way to get back to good standing above a 2.0. We also do have academic suspension. Now, at Marshall, there are 2 ways you can get suspended outside of disciplinary or like academic dishonesty. Those are kind of separate. But in regards to GPA suspension, there's 2 ways you can get suspended. One way is if you have enough deficiency points in one semester that you exceed this limit and get required. Now, I can explain to you much more in detail if you're interested what deficiency points and quality points are, but the long story short is that all D's and F's are going to give you a deficiency, essentially. It's good because that means it's below 2.0. Again, I can go much more in detail one day if you'd like to. I'd be happy to talk to you about it and how those are calculated. But the long story short is if you're in a situation where you're getting all D's and F's, you probably need to come talk to us because we need to discuss your options. It is possible to get suspended after your first semester, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So again, if you are in a situation where you're getting all D's and F's, please come see us so we can talk to you about your options. The second way to get suspended is if you are on academic probation. So you got a few D's and F's, your GPA is below 2.0, but it's not enough for you to actually be suspended. So you're on academic probation. But while on academic probation, you get below a 2.0 semester GPA. At that point, you are suspended then. And again, I'd be happy to go into more detail if you're curious about any of this. I'd be happy to talk to you more about it. The reason that I want to make you aware of this is because, you know, grades, GPA does matter. We don't have a warning semester when it comes to academic probation. So some schools do, but we don't. So just want to make you aware of these policies and the fact that it is important to keep your GPA above a 2.0. And we are here to help. If you're struggling, please come see us. That's part of our job. We're here to help you figure out your options. The other thing I want to mention, and you know, sometimes just a class doesn't go well. Might not be a you know, every class might just be a class here and there that, you know, just doesn't go quite as well as you would like. If you get a D or F in a course in your first 60 attempted hours, so roughly your first 2 years, you can repeat that course and the original D or F will come out of your GPA. Now, it will always stay on your transcript, so it will always show that you had that D or F, but it won't be counted in your GPA. This is a good way to raise your GPA if you are on probation, or if, again, maybe a class just didn't go great and you'd like to repeat it. If you get an F and it's a required course, you're going to have to repeat it. If you get a D, then, you know, you have to think, do I want to repeat this? Because if you get a D, you repeat it and get an F. The F is what stands, and if that's a required course, you then would have to retake it a third time. And you only can do a DF repeat once per class. So that second repeat would not be a DF repeat. So D's are something we always talk through to make sure that that really is a good option. But that's, again, something that you would talk to your advisor about. Okay. Whew, again, a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm just going to keep pushing forward. Now we're getting to the part that you're really here for. How do you get classes for the spring? So I'm going to share my screen again. And the first thing I want to show you is how to check your holds. You can look at them on DegreeWorks, but you can also check them through MyMU. So from the home page, you just go to MyMU. And there's a couple different ways you can get there. One of them is over here under Services to click Milo, the fourth option, and then click Student and Financial Aid Information, and then Student Records, and then View Holds. Several steps. If you have a hold, it would show here. This is my account, so I currently don't have any holds, but if I did, that's where it would show up. You also can, I'm gonna be honest, I forget that other way that we found yesterday to do it. Student account information, and then was it general student info? Can someone remind me?
I found it through the financial aid information tab.
Yeah, but that was financial aid probation. Or holds, sorry, holds.
Oh.
Hang on a second. MyMU logged me out. Give me just a second.
Nope, that's not it. Sorry, folks. This is why we can help you with this, because sometimes even we forget. Takes us
it was academic progress.
There it is. Student account information, academic progress. No, I don't know why it pulled up final grades.
Well, you click on the view holds right there at the bottom.
Yeah. You can go from there as well. So that is kind of tricky to remember, obviously. So if you do forget how to do it, feel free to let us know and we'll help you figure it out. Holds, if you have a hold, you have to go to the office that gave you the hold. So right now, you probably have an advising hold from us. That's fine. We're working on that. You're going to get that removed once you do your individual advising session. So that's, so you're already working on getting that removed. So you don't have to stress out about that. You could also have an admissions hold. If you do, you need to go to admissions. They might need some paperwork from you, like immunization records or a final high school transcript, or maybe there's a college transcript from a place you attended before that they haven't received. So you would need to go to admissions and ask them. You also probably received an email telling you what they need, so you might want to go back through your email if you have that. You could also have like a bursar hold. Maybe you got a parking ticket that you didn't pay, or a library fine, so you could have a library hold. Multiple different types of holds you can have, but the key to remember is go to the office that put the hold on you. You can't register if you have those holds. So you have to get those cleared up before registration starts. So that's the first part. Now, when you meet with us individually, we will talk about what courses we would recommend you look at for the spring. So we help you come up with a list of courses, but then you actually get to pick out the days and times for those classes, and you get to plug them into the system yourself. So let me go back here. So something that I want to show you, again, we're going to go back to the home page, and we're just going to type in schedule of courses. Again, theoretically should be the first link. Now, the spring schedule is not out yet. It will be released on Monday. So Monday evening when you log on here, there should be an option for spring 2022. Just for today's purposes, I'm going to show you fall just so I can point out a couple things to you. One thing I want to point out is this option right here, right above where it says undergraduate courses, in case you can't see my highlighting. It says view Core 1 and Core 2 courses only. When we talk to you, we might say, you know, we recommend you get your humanities course. And you're like, well, what's a humanities course? You can go right here to view Core 1 and Core 2 courses and then just click humanities. And it brings up all of the humanities options being offered for that semester. So this is a really simple, easy way to find these options versus clicking through the different departments and trying to find them like that. This is way easier. And then you scroll down here and under undergraduate courses, that's where you will find all of your undergrad courses. So let's say John Marshall needs Econ 250 for the spring. He would click Econ, Economics, and the courses are listed right here. So you have Econ 200, then there's Econ 250, 253, and so forth. All of the economics courses would be listed. You can see the days and times they're offered. You can see where they are. You can see who the professor is. You can click this $sign on the right, and it will bring up a link to go to the bookstore to see what book they're requiring. Now, when the schedule first comes out, they might not have all the books input yet, but you know, that's something that you can continue looking at. You can click the title of the course and get a description. This could be really helpful when you're picking out like your humanities and you're like, well, what is this course? You can see the course description. Another thing I want to point out on here is where it lists prerequisites. So right under the course, there's something that says PR. I don't know if you can see my highlighting, but okay, good. PR stands for prerequisite. A prerequisite is a course that you have to take before entering another course, and you have to successfully complete before entering another course. So for example, Econ 253 is a prerequisite for Econ 421. So you cannot take Econ 421 until you successfully complete Econ 253. So, you know, just be aware of what a prerequisite is. And again, that's something we help you stay on track with, which is why it's important to meet with us. Okay, so once you select your days and times for your courses, you know, you'll go through, you can look at management, econ, you know, whatever we, you know, help you come up with a list for. You take this 4-digit number right at the beginning of the course listing. Every course has a unique 4-digit number right here. This is called a course reference number, or a CRN. That 4-digit number is what you go to MyMU and plug in to actually get registered for the course. And to do that, we're going to go back to MyMU, and under registration over here on the left side, you're just going to click that and then click add drop classes. Now, registration's not open right now, so it's not going to let me actually go through it, but I will be sending you a link to a PDF with step-by-step instructions on how to register. So that way, if you're going to register and you kind of forget what we've talked about, it's right here step-by-step for you. Now let me scroll down here and you can see once you get into add drop classes, you'll get to a screen that has all these little boxes. That is where you plug in the CRNs. You just plug in all the CRNs for your classes and then hit submit. And that's it. That's how easy it is to register. Now, it is easy, but also you could get an error. Some common errors that you might see would be a prerequisite error. So for example, if you try to register for English 201, but you haven't successfully completed English 101, it's going to give you a prerequisite error. And I forgot to mention that in regards to prerequisites, a D is passing for most courses and will meet the prerequisite, with a few exceptions for business students. One exception is English 101 and English 201. You do have to get a C or better in those two courses to move on and to graduate. The other exception is for accounting majors. Accounting majors have to get a C or better in their accounting classes in order to meet the prerequisite to move on. And you can actually, let me go back to the schedule here. You can actually see that. Let me go to an accounting course. On the schedule of courses, for example, accounting 341 right here, you can see that it says accounting 311 minimum grade C. So there are, a couple exceptions to that, but in general, a D is passing and will meet the prerequisite for you to move on. If you are in the course right now, that's a prereq for a course you want to take in the spring, it will still let you register. So if you're in English 101 right now and you want to take English 201 in the spring, the system will recognize that you're taking 101 and will let you go ahead and register for 201. Another error you could get is a closed class. And on the schedule of courses, you probably noticed some sections listed in red, or maybe looked a little orange. That means the class is closed. And that very well could happen. It's always good to have a couple backup options ready, so that if something's closed, you can just go ahead and plug in a different course. If you try to register for a class that is closed, you will need to pick a different day and time for that course, or select a different course if you have that option. For business courses, we don't grant overloads into courses unless all of the on-campus sections are full. Online classes can be a little different, but for our on-campus sections, all of them have to be full in order for us to do overloads. So just keep that in mind. And if stuff's closed and you're really struggling to get something to work out, just reach out to your advisor and we can help you with that. Another error that you potentially could get, this isn't super common, but and I take it back, it's not technically an error. There is something called high demand courses here at Marshall. The primary ones that affect business students are Accounting 215, English 101, and English 201. What that means is if you have one of those classes and you drop it, you cannot pre-register for the course. So basically what that means, if you had English 101 this semester and you dropped it, technically it's going to let you register for it when you put your classes in November, but it's going to drop you from that course overnight because it's a high demand course. You would not be able to register for English 101 until the week before school starts. And again, this is not super common, but there are a few courses that can affect business students with high demand. Okay. So I showed you kind of the old school way to pick out schedules. It's the way I do it, but there is another way. If you're more tech savvy and want to do it differently, if you go to Marshall's website and type in Marshall's course schedule generator. Again, should be the first link. You'll come to a disclaimer first. This disclaimer is just reminding you that this does not actually register you for the courses, nor does it save seats. So you still would have to manually go to MyMU and register for these courses. So you just check mark saying you understand, and then click Build My Schedule. It does take a couple minutes to load here, so just be patient. And also, this does not automatically refresh. So if you're on here once and you leave and come back, make sure you refresh, because if things closed, it's not going to automatically tell you that. So you can see yesterday I was looking at it and I had plugged in two courses, biology and econ. You just can click the add and add in your courses. You list your courses that you want to take, and then you just click generate schedules. And it will come up with all these schedule options for you. You can look at them, see what you like. If you really like it and want to save it, you can click the little heart and it will bring it over here to your favorited schedules. And then when you go to register, you can easily click here and get your CRNs over here for the schedule that you like. Again, make sure you always refresh this because if things closed, it's not going to automatically refresh. You need to just click the refresh button. You can also put in time exceptions. Say you work certain days and you want to put that in to work around it. You can put in time exceptions and it will then work around those. So that is another way that you can help generate some schedule options. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Megan and Sabrina, is there anything that you feel like I've forgotten?
I think you got it.
I hope so. I think we got it all. So we will send you a link to this recording this afternoon, along with the link to do the advising quiz. And that will all be one email. And then you will receive a second email to schedule your individual advising appointment. Now, I will say that we typically only do appointments through the end of October. So don't be, if you click that link and everything's already full, don't be alarmed. We will still get you in. You will just need to email your advisor and coordinate with them. Starting in November, we typically just do walk-ins. So you know, at that point you can just walk in and see us, and you can walk in now and see us. But for an advising appointment for the until the end of October, we do prefer an appointment so that we can be prepared and ready to talk to you. But we do see walk-ins. Our office is in Corbley Hall 334. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and we go to lunch around noon. Typically, there's still somebody in the office during that time. Occasionally, we'll have a lunch outing and and close for a little bit, but typically someone's still here. But your advisor is typically unavailable during that time. But we are here 5 days a week. We try to reply to emails within 1 to 2 business days. We try to reply to phone calls as quickly as possible. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions. That is why we're here. We're here to help you navigate all of this. I can go through and talk about this very quickly because I've been doing this for 11 years. It's second nature, but you're new to this, and that's why we're here. We're here to help you. So please don't hesitate to come see us if you need something. And, we definitely look forward to seeing you in our appointments where we can talk more about your individual plans and circumstances and help you come up with some ideas for the spring. Does anybody have questions? There are no stupid questions. I guarantee you if you're thinking of something, somebody else probably has the same question.
And for our appointments, we are we're doing in person, virtual, or phone.
Thank you.
So,
yes.
Yes. So when we send out the appointment campaign, there'll be a link in your reminder email. We can do virtual. We can do you coming in the office or even a phone appointment. But we do need you to let us know about the phone appointment. Just email us back and tell us that you would like a phone appointment.
Yeah.
Also, your email to schedule an appointment will come from Navigate this afternoon. Sometimes that gets sent to your junk mail, so be sure to check that as well. Like Lacey said, we'll make sure everybody gets in, but if there's a specific time and date that you're really wanting to meet with us, just make sure you keep an eye on that. That email will come from Navigate, not specifically from Sabrina or me. So
yes. And the email I send out with the quiz link and the recording link will also come from Navigate. Also, I guess we should tell you when you can register. that would be important, right? So priority registration is November 4th. So if you are in the Honors College, if you're in Student Support Services, the HELP program, various programs that get priority registration, your day would be November 4th. If you are not in those, then you get to register on November 16th. Now, registration at Marshall starts at midnight. So November 16th is a Tuesday. So you would actually stay up late Monday night going into Tuesday, and you would register right at midnight if you want to. I would probably encourage you to, but that's your option. Once registration is open for you on November 16th, you can technically register up until school starts, but please do it on November 16th. If you have priority registration on November 4th, you have the 4th and the 5th to register, but then it closes for you and you can't register then until the 16th. So keep that in mind. If you do get priority registration, you only have 2 days of that priority registration, and then you're blocked from schedule changes until the 16th. So just keep that in mind.
Lace, we have a message in the chat. Alexandra wants to know, she says, you may have mentioned this and I didn't catch it, but when is the deadline for registering for the spring semester classes?
Great question. Great question. Technically, you could register through the first week of the spring semester, but please don't do that. Please register sooner rather than later. And here's a couple reasons why. One reason, your financial aid can't process until you register. So delaying your registration also delays your financial aid and all of that type of stuff. Another reason is just simply to get better days and times. If you wait until the week before school starts in January, you're not going to have much to pick from, and you're just going to kind of have to deal with what's left. So it's important to register as soon as you can, just to get your days and times that you prefer. Now, if you register on that day and you're still not quite happy with it, you can still make changes. You can technically change your schedule through the first week of school. But we definitely encourage you to register as soon as your registration day opens, to get as close to your preferred schedule as possible. And again, just so you don't delay financial aid and all that stuff. If for some reason, if there's something that's making you hesitate about registration, like maybe you think you might transfer or something like that, talk to us and we can talk to you about those options. Maybe we still need to get you registered, and then if you don't attend, then we can just get you out of those classes or something like that. But if there is a reason you're hesitating, please let us know. That's a good question. What other questions do you all have?
Lacey, do we want to touch on CPOS just briefly for when they're registering?
Yeah, we could. So there are some new financial aid guidelines that essentially, the long story short of it is that you have to be taking classes towards your program. So you have to be full-time in courses towards your major and or minor, or the honors college is also included in that. So again, basically what they're saying is you can't just be taking 12 hours of random classes that don't count for anything. If you get financial aid, they want to ensure that it is actually counting towards graduation and helping you get closer to that goal. So that is something just to keep in mind. And again, we don't recommend things that you don't need, but if there is something that you're interested in taking that's maybe outside of what we recommend, just talk to us about it, because it might be fine. Maybe we can work it in somewhere. Maybe you have room for free electives, which means that you still have to take those hours, but you get to pick what the courses are. So it's very possible you can still take that class. We just want to make sure before you actually register for it. So please talk to us if that's the case. Or also maybe you want to take a class because you do want to minor in that, you haven't declared it. We can declare that minor and you're good to go. So just talk to us if that's the case. Any other questions? You all are a quiet group. All right. Well, it is lunchtime, so I will let you all go so you can go get some lunch and move on with your day. It has been a pleasure talking to all of you, and we look forward to seeing you in your individual meetings. Again, we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. You can stop by, you can email, you can call. Please don't hesitate to come talk to us or, to contact us. And watch your email this afternoon for those 2 emails from Navigate. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Have a
Thanks.
good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.